Hello and welcome. I am Esther. I am Peter's AI assistant to create voiceovers. I will simply read Peter's blog posts, so that you have a choice of reading the blog post, or listening to my voice. Hello and welcome, gentlemen. Happy Sunday. For those of you who do not know, we have a suite of data models that were created after SAP bought Sybase. Our brand name for our data models is BI4ALL. The intention was to make them so cheap and affordable, that virtually any company of reasonable size could afford a data warehouse. Over the last couple of years, I have given a lot of thought to releasing portions of our data models. Now that I am not able to sell to Western companies directly, I have decided to release an older, limited, version of the BI4ALL data models. Today, I am pleased to announce that I am releasing an older, limited, version of the BI4ALL data models. I have my own reasons for releasing this set of models now. Mostly it is because I am no longer able to sell to Western companies directly. They are doing me no good sitting on the shelf collecting dust. They can be out in the world being used and doing something useful. Please allow me to explain what you can find on the following links. 1. The BI4ALL Evaluation Guide. 2. The BI4ALL View Abstraction Benefits White Paper. 3. The BI4ALL SQL Server Documentation Database. I have created a LinkedIn group for discussions of BI4ALL. You can join the group on this link. Next. Please allow me to explain what you will find in the SQL Server Documentation Database. We maintain our data models in Excel workbooks using CTL. Many companies wanted to have documentation of the data models using industry-standard data modeling tools. So, we created a feature to create a documentation database. The documentation database is simply a SQL Server database that represents all the views in the data model as tables. It also has all the primary keys defined as well as all relationships defined. So, you can get any industry-standard data modeling tool and you can ingest the data model into it. It will show you all the fields, all the keys, and all the joins. Of course, the Excel workbooks contain all the documentation of the data models such as text descriptions. These are not contained in the documentation database. The documentation database does not tell you what underlying tables are in the models, or what views are placed over the top. For example, customers and vendors are views placed over the party table. In the documentation database you will see what looks like two separate tables for customers and vendors. Even so, all dimensional data modeling techniques you will ever need to create a data warehouse are represented in these data models. All the auditing and control fields you need are also there. If you want to go into production on SQL Server, the features you need for partitioning are already included. These models can be implemented on SQL Server Standard Edition. You do not need Enterprise Edition to implement these models. You can implement these models onto a Windows 2022 server with 16 cores and 164 GB memory for around €60,000 for the SQL Server 16-core license. These models can also be implemented onto MySQL and Postgres using CTL. Fundamentally, with these data models being made available, along with CTL, you have everything you need to build a dimensional data warehouse for free. You can thank my ex-wife for these things being free. Laugh out loud. You can learn everything you need to know about dimensional modeling from these models. However, I do recommend you get Ralph Kimball's 3rd edition book on dimensional modeling as well. We do have other data model verticals for telco, retail, media and web. We are not making these publicly available. If you want these data models you will have to buy them or build them for yourself. If your company is willing to buy from me, despite my ex-wife's false allegations, please contact me at peter@peternolan.com to discuss pricing. All my customers' details will remain confidential. One of the reasons I am releasing all this software for free is to get lots and lots of companies using them for free. That way my ex-wife cannot figure out which companies are actually my customers. She can hardly attack a company for the crime of using my software for free. That's a big win for all of you who would like this software for free. Laugh out loud. Using these models you can figure out how to create the underlying tables and create the views over them. If you would like the source code version of these models, please contact me. The fee will be $1,000 for the workbook. If you are not willing to pay the $1,000 for the data models source code workbook, you are welcome to spend your time creating tables and views as you see best. As I mentioned, I have created a LinkedIn group specifically for the discussion of these models. You are welcome to join and discuss these models in the group. If you want to ask me questions that are not answered in any of the documentation, then I would recommend you collect all the questions you have together and book a Skype session with me to answer them. As at the time of releasing this article, my fee will be $50, payable in advance, for each 55-minute session. Each session will start at the top of the hour. The 5 minutes between sessions will give me time to get a fresh cup of coffee. If you are happy to get all my CTL software and data models for free, but you are too cheap to pay me $50 per hour for personal one-on-one questions, then you are welcome to ask someone else questions who is willing to give you his time for free. Laugh out loud. I will warn you that when I am making more money, my rates for one-on-one discussions will go up. I was making $150 per hour in 2001, when the US dollar was worth a lot more than it is today. At the end of the day, with this announcement, I have made everything any company needs to create a data warehouse available, for free. All you need to do is the work to create the data warehouse. If your company is willing to pay me to create your data warehouse using these tools, I would be more than happy to work for $50 per hour at the current time. If your company is not willing to have me do the work to build your data warehouse, but is willing to hire someone I have trained, I can pass along references to business partners for serious customers. Just so you know, I have a USD and AUD PayPal. I also have a Revolut account. I prefer to be paid using Revolut because there is no PayPal tax with Revolut. If you have any questions, please use the comments section below. And with that, I hope you found this blog post interesting and informative. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I really appreciate that. Best regards. Esther, Peter's AI assistant.